I ruined my brother's marriage because his wife left me at the pool, so I had to get my wisdom teeth yanked out, all 4 of them at once. I'm terrified of dentists, like genuinely scared, so they had to knock me out with IV meds. Not just the laughing gas that goes away quick, but the heavy stuff that basically makes you useless for hours afterward. The dentist told me I needed someone responsible to drive me there and back because I'd be too messed up to handle it myself. My mom was out of town for work, so I asked my sister-in-law Bree if she could take me. The appointment was only supposed to be like an hour or two, and the office was about 45 minutes away. I even offered her gas money. My brother Jake couldn't do it because he had work, and Bree stays home with their 2-year-old who was at her mom's house that day anyway. Bree said yes, so we went. The surgery went fine, I guess. I don't really remember it. When I woke up, I felt like absolute garbage. Everything was spinning, I wanted to throw up, and I had gauze stuffed in my mouth to stop the bleeding. Bree helped me to the car and we started driving. Here's where it gets weird. I was barely conscious in the passenger seat, just trying not to puke everywhere, when Bree suddenly stopped the car. She got out and told me to come with her. I was so out of it that I just did what she said because sitting in the hot car felt worse. We walked through this gate and I realized we were at a public pool. I was so confused. Bree basically sat me down at one of those plastic table bench things and said she'd be back in a while. I'm sitting there in the blazing heat. It was like 92 degrees, still dizzy and nauseous with bloody gauze in my mouth, and she just walked off. I asked her to please take me home. She said no. Turns out since she had the day off and no kid to watch, she'd made plans to meet her friends at the pool. She literally used my surgery as an excuse to get a free ride to hang out. I started feeling worse. The heat, the meds, everything was making me feel like I was going to pass out or have a full panic attack. I pulled out my phone and called Jake. I don't think he understood anything I said because my mouth was full of gauze and I was slurring from the drugs, but he hung up and must have called Bree immediately. She came storming back over, completely pissed, yelling and cussing me out in front of everyone at the pool. She dragged me back to the car, and I passed out during the drive home. When we got to my house, Jake was already there. He'd left work early and was waiting in the driveway. The second Bree pulled up, he started screaming at her. She was crying and yelling back, but I was too messed up to understand what they were saying. Jake pulled me out of the car and got me inside while Bree drove off. He stayed with me until the meds wore off a few hours later. That's when he told me he was divorcing her. He said what she did to me was the last straw on top of other stuff he didn't want to get into. A few days later, Bree started blowing up my phone. She called me every name in the book, said I was a snitch and a bitch, and that I destroyed her family by tattling. She said I ruined her daughter's life and it was all my fault for not just waiting at the pool like an adult. I felt guilty for a bit because of my niece.